All right. 99 fire making. The last of the truly easy 99s. And probably the last 99 I'll get for quite a while. I don't know what my next one will be. So I traded one of my Santa hats for a Disc of Returning and an Easter egg, which is a pretty balanced trade on either side, I think. It's kind of hard to value the Disc of Returning because they are traded very infrequently. But yeah, I think it's a pretty fair trade. The reason I did this is because I wanted to have a couple of the lowest tier rares to be able to trade for cash and items at some point when I need. Basically, you can't trade higher tier rares for cash typically, though maybe you'll be able to more so now that inflation has picked up with all the fletching. But yeah, it's easier to convert low tier rares into cash and items than high tier rares basically. So I just wanted to be prepared if I need to get some more cash, and also kind of looks nice to diversify the rare collection a little bit more. And here is 50 million Fletching XP. So it's been like a bit over a week since that clip, and I haven't gained too much more Fletching XP because I'm running up on the end of my supplies. But this is what the high scores are looking like, so still have a decent lead on rank 1, but I'm not sure if I will stay rank 1 all the way through. I mean, it really depends on just how many supplies I can buy versus how many all these people can buy. This skill is definitely more gated by gathering supplies than it is by hours that you have available, which for me actually is probably an advantage because I don't have crazy hours. Like some people can definitely play more than me. So there are definitely still ways that people, like if people want to play more inefficiently, they could be gaining a lot more fletching XP by just fletching anything they could fletch. Whereas I'm a bit more picky with what I want to spend my time fletching since I'm also planning to train other skills. But yeah, I've done a bit more fire making post 99. That's kind of just always a backup option for me. I still have a ton of logs in the bank. I actually bought a bunch more. I got a 20k U log trade yesterday, which was great, and a bunch of other smaller ones. So the stack just keeps going up. It's nice to see. And I was finally actually able to buy some magic logs in the last few days. I went like probably a week without buying much of any at all. I had to raise my prices, of course. But yeah, prices of bows are also going up. So, and bowstring price is pretty stable. So it's reasonable for log prices to go up if bow prices go up. But yeah, I still have a pretty decent surplus of cash right now that I've just been trying to spend down. Like I'm trying to make my cash flow in and out relatively stable. Because if it's going in one direction or the other, it just means that I'm either overpaying or underpaying or something. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to kind of remain stabilized in the market. Holy cow, look at this. 600 mil thieving XP in this bank right now. And cooking maybe gained like a 1 or 2 mil XP. The shark market is very slow moving. It's hard to buy very many raw sharks, but the price actually jumped up recently. For a while, it was very difficult to sell cooked sharks at all, and they were selling for like 700, 750 each. And all of a sudden, there's like a gazillion people buying them. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Yeah, so we've got a bit more people selling them now, but people selling for 1k each and just like a absolute pile of people trying to buy for a bit lower. I don't exactly know what happened to trigger this because it wasn't around any update or anything, but it's generally, I guess, a good thing for me because it means that if I can ever actually get some raw sharks, it'll be easy to sell the cooked ones. So what else? With regards to fletching, I do track all of my trades in a spreadsheet. So I have records of all of the um, items that I bought and sold with fletching. So I found it kind of interesting to look back at the 50 mil mark and see how much of each thing I fletched. So let me see if I can pull this up. Okay, this is kind of janky, but yeah, so these are the quantities of the items of these items I was able to buy and how much XP each one was. So this adds up to 48 million XP. I guess it doesn't include the first like level 1 to 85 that I did with maples and U's. I don't know why I didn't include that, but yeah, this is almost all of my XP here. So 173k magic logs, 156k unstrung U longs, and 52k unstrung magic longs. So I strung 208k extra bows, plus I strung all of the 173k magic logs that I cut into bows. And that's pretty much what I plan to keep doing. I haven't cut any U unstrungs other than to get to level 85. And that's because I kind of would rather use my U logs for fire making than fletching, because that's just kind of the best thing to do macro efficiency wise. But it is tempting sometimes to just send all of my U logs into fletching and get higher on my rank 1 skill. But I think I'll do the fire making. The fire making is nice. And all of these logs, I think I have enough for like about 50 mil fire making XP now. I got to do the math, but it's about 200 XP, 202.5. So that's 30, that's like 34 mil plus 17. So yeah, burning all those logs, I already have 50 mil fire making banked, which would be, let's see, I think it'll be rank 2 fire making. Yeah, so there's 2 people that are around 30 mil XP, so, and I'm rank 4 fire making already. There's not a lot of competition on a lot of these skills. Like the post 99 high scores for this game is mostly like pretty free ranks. It's like train for 5 or 10 hours past 99, or just get 99 for some skills in your front page. And yeah, like there's a few people that are going hard on a few skills, like Demgainzo is going crazy on agility, and so is the Wolf. And then like 3249 is gone crazy on woodcutting and fire making recently. And a lot of people train thieving just because it's a good skill to train. Actually, cooking has been pretty competitive between Caligula and Rando, and recently this all right guy has been buying up all the raw sharks because the rank 1 and 2 don't even have cooking gauntlets, so I don't think that they cook sharks. They just do lobsters mostly. But this guy actually has. So if he didn't exist, maybe I would be a bit higher cooking, but he must be grinding harder, working out individual trading relationships with people or something, because he's somehow finagling a lot more sharks than I am, despite having the same buy offers up on the market. But I think he also cooks food other than just sharks. I want to say he cooks maybe lobsters or swordfish too. And I'm a shark only cooker. I tried to give this guy a fair price for these logs, but he refused to take any payment and wanted to get them for free. So I'm not going to say no. It's another couple million XP towards the 200 mil fire making goal. So much appreciated. At least I can do is at least give him a shout out in the vid. It is pretty interesting to follow the high scores of this game because so far almost all of the 200 mils are thieving, which is not too surprising since you can do it as many hours a day as you want and it doesn't cost money and it's 160, 180k an hour. And then there's one dude who has 200 mil woodcutting who went really hard and retired after that, it seems, or at least he's taking a break. And that's it in terms of 200 mils. So, you know, and you would typically think that like fletching, cooking, and then maybe fire making would come quickly. But in this version of the game, the player base is small and it takes a lot longer to buy and sell supplies for these skills. I was looking back at the tracking data for early OSRS, which is on Crystal Math Lab still. And the first player to get 200 mil cooking was within, I think, like 2 or 3 months, and probably just did sharks the whole way and was playing like 10 hours a day, something like that. And then fletching was another like 2 months later. And then thieving was later after that. And in original RS, the first 200 mil ever was fletching in 2006. So I guess prior to that, people didn't even know that 200 mil was the XP cap. It's also kind of funny to look back at the high scores from actual 2004, which you can sort of do with the Wayback Machine, though it doesn't seem like the data is always quite right, or at least like it doesn't seem like it's always reliably exactly the date that you think it is, but it's somewhat close. And if the information is correct, I think the rank 1 fletching in 2004 was like 21 mil XP or something. So it's kind of funny to compare nowadays to then. Let me actually see if I can find it instead of just making this up. So this version of the game is in November 2004, but you know, some time has passed. And also this game had multiple years prior RuneScape Classic. So December, so like see, like I clicked on, I don't know if you guys can see, but like this is December 16, 2004, but the news post is from August 2004. So obviously something isn't quite right because the game was updated every week. So I don't exactly know what. I'm not an expert with the Wayback Machine, but it's something. It's at least a data point. Um, and on the high scores here, uh, yeah, shout out Coreskin, 21 mil fletching XP, and I think the highest XP skill was fire making because in RuneScape Classic, the only logs you could burn were regular logs, and they gave XP that scaled based on your fire making level. So at 99 fire making, it was actually very fast. I think it was like at least 200k XP an hour. And Suomi is on here too. That's what he was up to back then. And then I imagine a lot of these people got most of their XP in Classic and then maybe didn't train that much afterwards. But yeah, there was people were not really like people didn't have a lot of XP. I think like maybe somebody had a lot of strength. Oh yeah, actually strength is higher than fire making. But like back then, like fletching, oh, 50 mil cooking. Wow, okay. So people were doing cooking. I guess people just didn't really like fletching for some reason. But yeah, in terms of my experience, I showed this earlier, but I've been able to AFK cut 173k magics, and then like it was like 17k used before that. So almost 200k logs I've been able to AFK, which is a bit over 100 hours of AFK fletching, and then all of those plus 209k unstrungs that I bought, I've strung, so around 400k bows strung, which for me probably was about 100 hours realistically. If you're like fully locked in and going hard and not playing other accounts, you can probably string like at least 6k bows per hour, maybe even more if your clicks are really good. But I'm playing at least 2 other accounts all the time, so when you have to be clicking on this client all the time to be gaining XP, then you don't have like some ticks between your skilling action to click away to the other client. So every tick that you're clicking on another client, you're losing XP. So I think realistically, yeah, I'm probably stringing more like 4 to 5k bows per hour, depending on what I'm doing on the other accounts, which is still really good XP. And like buying unstrungs and stringing that many per hour is still over EHP compared to cutting and then stringing your own bows. So that's what fletching looks like. It's really only taken me like a couple 100 hours to get here. Just been kind of cruising. I do have to take it easy with the stringing and just pace myself. So in some ways I'm kind of grateful when I'm not buying a ton of stuff because then I'm less tempted to push myself too hard because yeah, it's a lot of clicking and I've had RSI issues. So usually in a day, I try to not string more than like 10k bows. So just spend like 2-3 hours at it. And that's gotten me here. So I'm just going to keep at it with the supplies I'm able to get. I have lots of logs to burn for fire making. And whenever I'm able to buy raw sharks, I cook those and get those out the door. Oh yeah, and fishing, I'm just shy of 43 mil, so that's going up nicely too. Probably hit 50 mil in like a month or two. But yeah, I'm very curious to see what the next 200 mil will be that isn't thieving. Probably this guy will get 200 mil thieving soonish. But yeah, I mean, it's looking like cooking will be the next one. This is the one with the highest XP. But I do think it will probably be like at least, I want to say at least like 6 months before anybody gets another 200 mil. Like there isn't really any that are very close. I mean, maybe 3249 could get woodcutting or fire making in that time. He's going pretty hard. Um, yeah, fire making first 200 mil would be pretty cool. But yeah, fletching and cooking is just like the supply of items is slow moving. So there's only so much you can do, even if you have all the money in the world. And I don't think that we'll see a 200 mil in any of the more complex or slow or expensive skills for like years. Like a lot of these skills are just totally undoable, like crafting or smithing, herb lore, rune crafting. It's just like there's no shot that those are happening anytime in the next few years, probably. But we'll see what updates bring. So for me, it's cool to have a high scores that look like this, that are so wide open, and there's so many opportunities for people to climb and get those single digit ranks, and there's a lot of rank ones that are wide open for people who really want to go for those. And I think that's cool to see. I mean, it's a byproduct of a game being new, but also a byproduct of skills being hard, which is cool. Well, I'm trying to look for other things to yap about here. The gaming progress is what it is. I'm just gonna be doing these same skills for a while, at least until the next update. But I wanted to. People ask me a lot of questions in game that there are answers for, so maybe it'd be helpful for me to talk about some of this stuff in a video. But on the front page, there's this link that says roadmap. Definitely encourage anyone who plays this game to check it out, because this will show you what is happening with the game, what has happened so far, and what's coming next. So all of the green ones are updates that have already happened, and so 225 is where this game started in February of 2025. The reason it says April is because that's when it was like removed from beta, I think, but the actual server went live on February 1st of 2025. But yeah, so you can see that we're at 274, which is November 24th, 2004. Wow, just got another genie. It's the second genie in this clip, right? It's crazy. Still a long way from another Lamp Rune Craft level though. So the next update is 289, which is the first update of 2005, January 17th. Just a mere 2 weeks before Slayer, which is definitely the most anticipated update of the community right now. And this also has a link to a project board. So if you're wondering, like, how long until the next update, they're never going to give us an actual date until it's done, and this will be maybe like 2 weeks out, because this is an open source project that people work on in their hobby time, and they don't want to have deadlines around it. So it happens when it happens. It happens when people have time to get to it. But you can click on this, and for people who work in, like, this is kind of, I have to go like this, but yeah, for people who work in like tech or whatever, this will probably be familiar. It's basically like a Jira board, it's like a board of tasks, like one for each of the specific things that need to be done for this revision. And as you can see, there's not much left in the to do and in progress area. There's one quest and then small changes. So almost everything else is in refinement or already done. So it's looking pretty good for the next update. Basically what this information means is that most of the work is done and we're closer to being ready to go to 289 than we were, or than we are from when 274 released on May 30th. So I obviously can't give any actual dates, but yeah, it looks like 289 will be soon-ish. And given that 291 with Slayer is only 2 updates, that will obviously take a lot less development time than all of this stuff, which would most likely mean that it'll take less actual time between the updates. So the timeline is looking really promising for the server, and it seems pretty likely that Slayer will be here maybe by like the holidays, but you never know. Just gotta wait and see. And Slayer coming out is going to be huge for this game. It's going to be a massive change, and it's going to kickstart a lot of things. I mean, that's like, that update is what a lot of people are hinging a lot of things on their account around, basically. They're waiting to do this or that until Slayer, they're hoarding this or that item until Slayer, and then they're going to use it. So it's going to be a huge boom for the economy. There's going to be a lot of new players joining in from the hype around it. There's going to be a lot of people coming back to the game who played in the past. And there's going to be people putting in ungodly hours to try to be the first person to get the Abyssal Whip and get that sweet money. Another useful bit of information here is lostcitylabs.com, which is basically the Temple OSRS or Crystal Math Labs of the Lost City project. It's a third-party website that has high scores tracking and EHP rates. So if you're ever curious what the EHP rates are for 2004 RuneScape, this is it. Some of them are, well, so. I'm one of the people who helps maintain them, but there's some caveats, I guess. But like, yeah, like the gathering rates are good. Like woodcutting for higher levels is 3-tick willows with auto retaliate, 87k an hour. And it'll stay like that until teaks are released, I think. Fletching is based on just cutting and stringing magic longs. Thieving is based on multi-skilling with knights, which is why it's over the actual rate you can get because you're supposed to multi-skill in downtime at the bank. Fishing is a crazy like 4/3-tick cook plus eat method, which is pretty cool. Fire making is U-logs. Pretty standard stuff. Mainly it's just like combats that are kind of troll right now because Slayer is going to come out, and right now, like it's definitely more efficient to kill dragons for lower combat rate because they're so profitable, and you need to make money somehow, and you can just like you can use the bones for prayer and use the hides for crafting, so it's pretty self-sustaining. But the rates are based on moss giants with a bit higher XP per hour. Pretty much just because we didn't want people who AFK combats to get such an insane amount of EHP. You can still AFK combats for like probably almost this high of a rate. But if it was based on dragons, people would be getting like 1.5 EHP per hour just AFKing melee stats, which is just really silly. But all of it will be wiped to a Slayer. Like all of the melee HP will go to 0 and just become bonus XP on Slayer, which will actually be really nice for the EHP high scores. Ranged may or may not. There's probably only some ranged XP will come from Slayer with cannoning, and a lot of it you'll have to do elsewhere. But yeah, this is where to go if you're curious what the most efficient method is for any skill. I would like for there to be a field of like a description or like a link to a video or something, but I don't actually develop this website, so that would be something that the developer would have to do. Oh yeah, and for those who watched my thieving guide and then haven't checked back, the door method was nerfed, and have updated info there and also updated the EHP rates here. But yeah, doing the doors is not good XP anymore. It's better to just do cake stall, or maybe if you don't like cake stall, you can just do warriors or rogues or something, and then guards until 55. It's not actually that much slower, but it's just different methods. And then Arty Knights are still really OP from 55, as you can see. And with that, I can't think of a single thing more to yap about that I haven't already yapped before in this or previous videos, so send you off with some shenanigans going on here at Sears Bank. This is always where things are happening. I came over here to buy some magic logs. Got another injection of like 700 magic logs to the stack. I should have been able to get a lot of trades recently for magic logs, so things really fluctuate up and down with this server. You just got to have things to do in the meantime if you run out of supplies for whatever skill you're working on, and you can continue getting good prices. I just love to see all the like classic fashion scape and the like just people wearing all the old items, not being able to wear all the like weird looking stuff in newer versions of the game. I don't know, just I guess just being an old head on this game, I like the way the older graphics and the older item models look. So it's always just really visually appealing to me to play this game. The way the entire game world looks, the way that every player looks so like cohesive and classic and like just wearing all the items that we're so familiar with. I just love it here, man. I'm so glad we get to play this game, and I'm so excited to keep playing it. And 2005 also introduces a ton of my favorite fashion items, like the camel mask and the bone sack, or maybe that's 2006. There's a lot of other good ones, like the mining helmet. So much cool stuff. So I can't wait for what the future of Fashionscape holds. And I'm getting a little bit tired of, I've been wearing this exact same outfit for like a few months now, and I feel like I'm ready to switch it up. But the problem is that I can never get the torn pants back ever again. It's literally impossible. It's not an option on Thessalia. It used to be an option on female character Thessalia only, and on the latest update to 274, it was removed from female also. So, and I like this pant style, so I can't even change the color because I'll have to select the pant style and I'll lose it. So that's why I've stayed with this fit for so long, partly. I think I might just start a new account, and then on the character creation screen, then I can just look through and try things out, because I don't really have a better way to just like easily experiment with what I want my character to look like. And I kind of want to come up with one that will look good even if I'm not wearing anything, or just like nothing but boots of lightness and still looks good. Because that's kind of the fit that we'll be wearing for a lot of stuff. It's most convenient. Oh, actually, you know what? While I'm here, I figure I may as well give a shout out to other 2004scape YouTubers that I watch and that I like their content. I feel like I ought to do that because I'm sure you guys are looking for more content. I always have people in game asking me for the next video, and I only have so much to say and so much time to make these videos. So there's lots more out there. So I will put what I think I'll do. Yeah, I'll just put a list of creators in the description of people who I watch all of their videos. I watch a lot of YouTube, believe me. So I watch all of these people's videos. I think they're great. And if you're looking for more O4 content, check them out. And with that, I'm for real done. Thanks for listening and have a great weekend.